Today I thought it'd be nice to give you all a free lesson in negotiating. Negotiations, when it comes to doing business, are a bit of a headache, a nuisance, and it's just this push and pull battle back and forth, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. But what if it did? Every single time. What if every time you entered into a negotiation, you knew you would be victorious? You want to get yourself a new Stanley Cup, but don't feel like forking over 50 clams for it? Well, then it's time to employ this negotiating tactic and get yourself a 100% off discount. That shit will be free. In fact, this is so effective that they'll probably start paying you to take the items away from them. It's that powerful. I first learned this forbidden jutsu from an anonymous hero on the Facebook marketplace who really opened my eyes to it. So I want to do the same for you. And I'll just go ahead and say it now. You're welcome. So it all begins with an individual trying to sell their motorcycle on the Facebook marketplace, and then they received this message. And I don't think they were prepared for this. That motorcycle was as good as gone the second this was sent. So they reach out and they say, "Hello, I know this is a lot to ask, but would you consider letting me have the motorcycle for free?" Pause. That's how you do it right there. Immediately letting his intentions be known. There's no guesswork here. There's really no haggling either. It's like, "Excuse me, have you considered letting me have this for free? I know you're trying to sell it for money, but what about just letting me have it?" Now, I don't want to scare you away with science, but I do want to dive a bit deeper here on why this is so effective. There's a psychological explanation for this. People love to have their questions answered with another stupider question. It makes us feel great. It's like this nice euphoric high. It's like smoking the crack pipe, but much worse. So in this instance, I know the guy selling his motorcycle had never, even for a fucking iota of a second, considered just giving away his motorcycle for free to a total stranger. But now that the idea has been planted in his head by that stranger, it's given him a lot to think about. And that changes the whole dynamic of the negotiation. Now, all the power is on the guy who's asking for it for free. You see how it works? It's very clever. We're dealing with a true genius. And he wastes no time getting very personal here to get an emotional investment from the seller, trying to tug on his heartstrings. So he's going for like this extremely powerful 1-2 combination wallop here to try and get this bike for free. So he says, "It's for my elderly dad, and he lost his car due to financial issues, and he is dirt poor on a super low pension, and I don't work as I'm looking after him until I get another job, as I lost my trucking company to a fucking rotten," and then he drops a slur. If that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, then I don't know what will. You have no soul. His elderly father, he lost his car due to financial issues, and now he needs a motorcycle. As all elderly men need. Like, how is he supposed to get from point A to point B without a free motorcycle now? What do you expect him to do? Walk? It's ridiculous. He's elderly. And the individual here doesn't have a job to provide for him, so he's doing the best he can to get him some transportation, which just happens to be a fucking motorcycle. Maybe he's trying to get his dad killed. I have no idea. Maybe this is all an elaborate assassination plot. I am looking for someone with a heart that is willing to help a person in need. And then caps lock. "My dad is 78 years old and is at his breaking point, and the next person who refuses to say yes and help will be held responsible if anything happens to my dad, as he is ready to let go of life." So now the stakes have never been higher. His father is 78 years old. At his breaking point, the only thing keeping him alive is the hope of a free motorcycle. Will you do it? Do you have a heart to save his life? Because if he doesn't get this motorcycle, goddammit, it's going to be the end of him. And even if he gets the motorcycle, it's going to be the end of him then too. But in a much bigger blaze of glory, I think. I imagine it's 78 years old, and in as rough a shape as this guy describes him, that motorcycle would be his vessel straight to fucking Valhalla. That would be messy. But it's what he wants. Alright? And are you going to do it or not? Are you going to follow the Lord's wishes and treat thy neighbor the way thy would like to be treated? With a free motorcycle? Because if you don't, you will be responsible for it, so keep that in mind, Buster. I think this is negotiating at its finest form. So he's pulling out all the stops here for the free motorcycle, trying to get the waterworks going with a sob story, but immediately drops a fucking slur in the middle of it, and then caps locks a threat, too. This is an unhinged maniac we're dealing with today. I usually blank out the Facebook profile pictures in these kind of messages, but this one is just so fitting because he has a clown as his profile pic, and it couldn't be more poetic because this guy is truly a fucking loser clown. So he comes back saying, I keep asking till you answer me. The guy trying to sell the motorcycle says, no thank you. And then even gets this warning, beware of common scams using payment apps. So I'm guessing this got flagged internally or something. I don't exactly know how Facebook Marketplace works in that regard. But then he goes, so you're okay with putting money over a person's life? And he just goes, has this ever worked for you? His strategy is very clear. He's trying to like play off of people's good nature. Like my father needs this motorcycle. He doesn't have a car right now, and he doesn't have money to pay for this motorcycle, and I don't have money to pay for the motorcycle because I'm taking care of my dad because I'm a good person. Like, come on, you're gonna really value money over someone's life? You're gonna try and sell this motorcycle for thousands of dollars as opposed to just give it to me and my dad for free, which would actually save his life? Oh my god, you're disgusting. You are despicable scum. And when it becomes clear that this guilt trip song and dance isn't working, he tries something very different. Actually, yes, in the past it worked because years ago there were good-hearted people that would give you the shirt off their back to help a person in need. A shirt is also significantly cheaper than a goddamn motorcycle, you absolute heathen. Now, all you is a bunch of cold-hearted, money-hungry bastards, and I am very disgusted by that. I have no doubt that he like spit. Gross. Won't even give me a free motorcycle. Yucky. My lawyer actually told me that if anything happens to my dad because someone told him and it pushed him over the edge, I can file a lawsuit. So far, I have 20 people's names and Facebook accounts who have refused to help me. I have passed those on to my lawyer in case anything happens. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't have money to pay for the motorcycle, begging for it for free, yet somehow has money for a lawyer for this. That's about as believable as me being over 6 feet tall. What a bunch of fucking hooey. My dad told me if anyone else tells him no, there will be major hell to pay. This guy actually speaks like a child on Xbox Live making threats. My dad actually works for Infinity Ward, so if any of you guys kill me in this game and I don't win, you're all getting banned. This goofball has that same kind of energy to these messages here, while he's begging for a free motorcycle, trying to get some kind of sob story guilt trip going. It's fucking brutal. So let's take a bit of a dive here on his last couple of statements. So he's saying that he has a lawyer that has told him he can file a lawsuit if something happens to his dad because someone refused him free shit, basically. That's such an entertaining idea to play around with. Like, you can't tell this guy no because he's old and he might die. So be careful. So he's trying to get the legal threats out there. If Pops kicks the bucket, if he buys the farm because you didn't give him a free motorcycle, I'm taking you to court, so you better give me the free motorcycle. The guy's like sweating like, oh my god, alright, I've got to give him the free motorcycle. I really wanted to get a couple $1,000s out of this because I paid so much for it, but this guy's dad's life is on the line and then I'm threatened with a legal lawsuit. Like, what did he possibly think would happen? No one's going to buy this story. Nobody in the world, no rational person in their right mind would get these messages and think anything of them beyond, wow, this person that is talking to me right now actually needs some kind of mental health evaluation, because this is unhinged. It's also super laughable how he tries to make his dad come in here at the end as like the big head honcho tough guy. My dad said if anyone tells him no, there will be major hell to pay. In what way? He's 78 fucking years old and apparently has no way of getting around and has some demented loser of a son that's trying to get free shit for him on Facebook Marketplace. What is he gonna do? What major hell is there gonna be to pay? There's nothing getting paid. You're just asking for shit for free in the most pathetic way possible. That's the worst threat ever. I have no doubt in my mind this has never worked for him. Shocker, I don't believe he's actually got 20 people's names and Facebook accounts in some kind of dossier that he's about to send to his lawyer to sue. Or if he does, the lawyer's just going to be trying to hose him for money off of this absolute cringe. Like, this is just ridiculous. You can't sue someone because they declined to give you something for free when they weren't even offering it for free to begin with. Like, you can't tell my dad no? What the fuck is that? It's so wild. It's so weird. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. You might want to try this negotiating tactic though once or twice just to see how it goes. Maybe it might be worth trying. Why not? Let it rip. It seems like a good time, a good bunch of fun. That's really about it. See ya.